Hello, Rob here, and welcome to this edition of R&B Reviews. Not too long ago, a subscriber of mine called Asher Pike's Golden Moral Cinemas got a hold of me, and basically what this channel is, Pike makes movies, short movies, documentaries on all kinds of things, and he was talking to me about a project that he had been working on for some time and wanted to know if I would consider reviewing it for my channel, and I said sure, I'd give it a look and give it a review. This was an ambitious movie that combines still pictures and some character animation and a little bit of live action, and Pike mentioned in the description box that this is the first animatic feature film in history. Basically, still pictures playing one after the other has been used for short films and documentaries and filming planning, but says that it was never used to create a fully developed feature film until now. And I believe he's been working on it for several years, and the movie runs at roughly 81 minutes. The movie is called The King's World Duel of Shades, and it is set in a fantasy world similar to The Lord of the Rings, where a war involving a being called the Spirit of Darkness has wiped out most of humanity, and a village of human survivors decide to band together and try to defeat the spirit, as well as the spirit's so-called warrior puppet called Solar. The story is told through the character of Arcades. Now, how I would describe The King's World is it's like an audio drama with images. I like the design of the movie and the look of the characters and some of the animation. For a movie that's a YouTube project, the dialogue I thought worked very well. Usually in movies that are made by people that want to go into movies and are starting out, sometimes the dialogue sometimes sounds unnatural or the characters sound more complicated than need be. But at times the dialogue can be a bit expository, but I think it was more because Pike was limited to using still pictures and doesn't really have the use of sets to show locations and movements to explain this world to the audience.
Therefore, we must get to the altar before he does. We must stop Solar and take his sword from him. Then we will strike the altar and reshape the world into what we always wanted it to be.
I gotta say, I think Pike created a very believable world, and it was amazing with all the details that he worked into about all the different areas of this world and everything. That really impressed me. I could definitely tell that this was a personal story for Pike. I would definitely pick up on various metaphors that the story is about battling depression. The journey itself, I think, represents getting rid of any self-doubt and self-worth and believing in yourself. And I think the villain, Solar, I think represents depression itself. And I think that the themes would definitely strike a chord with many viewers. I liked that the movie had a variety of voices. Many of them were supplied by Pike himself. But he does have other actors in the cast as well providing voices. The movie opened with a narration that kind of reminded me of hearing Gandalf, it kind of explains what has been going on up to this point, what kind of like Lord of the Rings. But after 4 minutes, I was worried that this was all we were going to get is just a narrator, but thankfully that was not true at all. As I was watching King's World, I kept thinking, it's too bad that this wasn't a live action movie or a fully animated film, which I know with one person doing it, it would take much longer and it would probably be more challenging, because I think it would have fleshed the characters out even more and the story out even more, and the characters wouldn't necessarily have to narrate what's been going on per se. I also feel that because of the use of still pictures, the middle of the movie where the characters are on their journey and they go to different locations and of course they're kind of challenged and so forth, you can only do so much with still pictures, and I felt like because of that, the middle of the movie where the characters go on these different locations and I thought were started to get a bit repetitive, where if it was a live action or a fully animated movie, Pike would be able to expand with different sets and character movement and facial expressions to add to the excitement to express their feelings. The score plays throughout the movie, and I thought it really added to the story very well, especially with what's been going on the screen. And I liked Pike's use of music transitions when we go from a character changing or going from one place or another. I think the cast did a fine job with their roles. My only issue with the sound was some of the voices, like the narrator and the Spirit of Darkness, were kind of hard to understand. I think it's because Pike must have changed them in an audio setting, and oftentimes I had to go back and listen to what they were saying.
Gifts of our heart, too long had this war ravaged, scathed, and scorned our home. A war of lifelessness, lies, endless self-destruction.
And sometimes the music buried the characters' voices. I do think some people might be disappointed with how this movie ends because Pike is mentioned in the description box that he's planning on continuing the story and that this is the first in a series called the King's World Saga. Now, for the viewers that don't read the description box might end up feeling disappointed after investing in the story. But overall, I like the movie. I like the ambition and the hard work behind the story development, the expansion of the film's themes, the camera work that he used, like panning, and the animation that he was able to do, and all of the drawings. But I can't help but feel that, you can only do so much with still pictures. I also kept thinking, if Pike made this into a podcast or an audio series where people could download or listen and use their imaginations, maybe it would be even sharper. I don't know. But I hope that Pike does continue this series, and I can't wait to see where things go from here. So, all right, well, that's my take on the movie. I'll go ahead and put a link to the movie on the screen as well as in the description box, and feel free to give it a look. And feel free to share comments about the movie, what you thought of it, what you thought worked, what you thought didn't work. And feel free to check out some other movie reviews as well on the channel. And if you're interested, please consider being a subscriber. Thank you very much for watching.